Ponderosa. I decided to come on live for a few minutes so that I can go over some things with you that I have recently experienced down here at Everland. So I don't know if you have all heard about the balls of fire that have been streaking through the sky. So I was out here over in the orchard on Wednesday around noon. Suddenly I heard what I thought was an explosion, and then it seemed as though it was thunder. But alas, there were no clouds in the sky, and the thunder seemed to be right above my head, and there was no lightning, but it just kept rolling like a constant roll of thunder. And it seemed like it was getting closer and closer. And I didn't know what to think or do except for run in the casa. So I ran in the house. Lo and behold, there were other people that were hearing the same noise. And some people actually saw the ball of fire that came through here. I'm in Georgia, but there were people that saw the, I guess, the same ball of fire that was making that sound, whatever that was, um, all all over the state of Georgia. Not only that, people actually saw some things up in Boston. So you can go and Google it. You'll see them. There were people that actually took uh, pictures of it. They have videos of these things. We don't know what this is, guys. It was really, it was very alarming because, of course, you know what's going on in this world. Everything has gone awry, and I think it seems like everyone's gone mad. But anyhow, I digress. Um, so it gave me the forethought to go out here, check on the Ponderosa, check on my solar. And so what I'm coming on tonight to tell you guys, check check your alternate source of energy. If you don't have one yet, get one. Hi Nara. Hi. So if you guys don't have a generator, get one. Hello Shaya. Hi there. Get your gardens together. This year was strange for me because I I planted my seeds. I did everything I was supposed to do, but none of my seeds germinated. Well, one seed germinated, but I planted tons of seeds and nothing happened. So I actually had to go back to the big box store and buy the starts. And I don't like doing that. But back to what I was talking about. That roll of thunder, the fireballs in the sky, that's really strange. This is really a weird time for us all, guys. So make sure you have your emergency situation together at your house and in your car. Something new that I've done to the Ponderosa this year is that I was using the water as fertilizer last year and the year before that and the year before that because I had koi. And so whenever I would clean that pump over there, I would just drain that water into buckets and water my plants. But of course, you remember the biolab exploded last year and caused a chemical plume to last over our area for at least 3 or 4 months. And all my koi died, so I don't have any koi. I'm in Georgia. I'm in the southern part of the metro Atlanta area. So I don't have any koi. I still have the Ponderosa, but what I realize is that the water is super clear. I have 3 or 4 pumps on that pond, and so I decided not to put any more fish in it right away because the way I see it, say for instance, the whole grid goes down. When the grid goes down, that means water, because at the power plants. Oh, thank you, Shaya. You. But so I decided not to put fish in there right now, and I have 4 pumps on, and also something new that I've done. I dropped a pump into that stream over there. You see my stream? It's right down there. I dropped a pump in it, and I have it running. The hose is running all the way up to, it's right there. So all I have to do when I want water or to fill up this pond, if it gets low, is to plug it up. And when I plug it up, I have everything. Everything is run by solar. Right over there. It's right there. And right over there. Well, if you didn't see it, trust me, it's there. So I was out here today just making sure of everything, making sure everything is going good, making sure that whatever happens, if I'm able to come outside, if we don't have the power or the water, I can still get some. So check your preps. Make sure you have an alternate source of water, and if you don't think you have one, just stock up on the water. Okay. And also, I wanted to say something else. When it rains, it pours, and it really does. So it's been raining here a lot, but the past few days been super hot. And then my air condition, my central air broke down. So I had to resort to drastic measures. And those drastic measures were made a cold room in my kitchen. I put a fan in the window. I had a solar bank in there. Um, I use the freezer in my house. I have a standalone freezer. I just kept freezing water. And then I put the water in front of the fan, and that was cold air blowing in my kitchen. So even though the rest of my house was 90 degrees, I was cool in the kitchen. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. Remind everybody to check your preps. I'm going to give you a tour of the Ponderosa real soon. Remember when I first made the Ponderosa and almost everybody laughed at me? Even someone said, it looks like a pile of junk. Well, they were kind of right, because most of the things I used to make this Ponderosa, I found it back there in the forest. So it's all mostly recycled materials. But anyway, it's coming along just fine. And I also, like I told you guys, I have the pump down there in the stream. That's what I fill this up with. So I'm not on the grid. I'm not using any more grid water. And not only that, I don't feel guilty either, because um, this is the county's responsibility about that biolab that killed all of my koi and several plants, and now nothing is germinating. The seeds I planted a ton of seeds, and it's really, you know what, I don't really get sad that often, but this really bothered me. It messed with me. It made me really sad. I think I was getting depressed about it, but I just had to keep on pushing. Google that song when we get off here. It's by Curtis Mayfield, I think, and the Impressions. It's called Keep On Pushing. But I'm telling you the truth. That's exactly what happened here. Nothing germinated. Hello, Oregon, Terry. Thank you. Nothing germinated down here. And even my citrus, well, they're finally blooming. So I hope I get some fruit off of them. I have a few calamundans. I have 7 apples on the apple tree. There were 8, but one fell off yesterday. I accidentally bumped into it. But are you believing this? 7 apples. 8. I usually have a ton of blackberries on both sides of this yard. A ton. I have enough to spare and share. Not this year. This year is so weird. And you know how blackberries, they grow like crazy. It's hard to control blackberries. Not this year because I see a handful of blackberries. A handful of blackberries. So I don't know, guys. I don't know what to think or say about all of this. Um, Everything's changed. Everything's strange. I saw an 8 point buck earlier today, in the middle of the day, and he was leading his herd across the street over here. And I don't know what to make of that. Um, anyway, just wanted to come on here, tell you guys what's going on down here at Everland at the good old Ponderosa. Well, if you can see that sprayer, I put a new sprayer. I actually went over there and put a sprayer on that. And the other thing I want to say about the Ponderosa, since I don't have fish, I cleaned it up and I'm still working on it. And I actually use it as, that's actually my emergency water. But since I have 4 pumps on it and I'm not drinking it, I also use it as my cool off pond. So I sit right here and I just put my feet in there. And literally, when this water comes through, not that pump, but that one, you may not be able to see it, but there's one there, and there's one there. That water right there. When that water comes out, it's already filtered 4 times, and you can literally drink it. But I don't recommend it. And I told Coach Thomas not to ever do that unless it's a dire emergency. If you have a pond like I do, and you have your pumps on it, and you see the water is crystal clear, I don't recommend you go and just start drinking it. But if you have an emergency, um, catch that water and boil it, and then drink it, unless it's a dire emergency. Okay? All right. Because there are too many variables, especially if you're getting it out of a natural stream like I am. There are too many variables in it. Okay, so don't just go, drinking it up. Don't drink it up and say fresh. No, no, no. Okay, and the other thing is, I use the water from here to water everything, so I'm not using the water from the good old grid. And eventually, I won't be using any grid water ever, ever, because that really did bother me about the effects of the biolab on the vegetation in my immediate environment and how it killed my fish. So paying for something that should be free anyway, it really bothers me. And my hope is to get this whole house, my entire home, off of the grid. So with that being said, um, you know how people move, they move into the woods or somewhere and they get off the grid and they're living off the grid? Well, did you know you can live off the grid, but you don't have to really leave your environment if you do it right? Learn about solar. Um, a good resource is Let Farmer 73. If you go on his channel or look at some of his videos, he walks you through everything as far as hooking up solar and teaching us. We learn together when we go to that channel. So if you want to learn about solar, you can Google it, but also look at some of his videos, okay? And also do your reading. Read when you get your solar batteries and your solar systems. Don't just start hooking everything up because you think you know. Make sure you read everything because this is electricity we're dealing with. Even me, even with this, especially with this pond, that's water. So I have, even though I have some electrical cords that are not, they're not in the water. The ones that are in the water are the ones that are supposed to be in the water. They're water grade uh, cables, but the ones that shouldn't be in the water, they should be grounded. And so I would recommend get an electrician to do it. And if you can't do that, you can what I did with some of mine, I make sure that they're not on the ground, because when it rains, that's the last thing you want is an electrical cord laying in water. So mine, they're not on the ground, and also I insulated them with I you can buy the proper insulation for these cords, but I kind of bootlegged it. I have these swim noodles. So since that's foam, I just slice down the side and I put the cords in there. So it's tight enough, and I can actually tape where I sliced it to make it more secure and airtight. The most important thing to me with that is that I do not want water on the cords that are not made for water. Okay, I heard a story this morning about people that were swimming in Lake Murray in North Carolina. I think it's North Carolina. And they were swimming, and lightning happened and it struck a cable. And the cable was supposed to be in the water. It was the one with the buoys on it. And I think 18 people went to the hospital, but 8 of them, I'm sad to say, did not make it. So keep those families in your prayers. But anyway, it's get dark out here. See my, you see my lights? You hear the cicadas? They kind of remind me of Land of the Lost when those things would come. Anyway, I won't keep you long because I'm not going to stay out here much longer. But most of all, you guys stay safe and check your preps and practice them. You hear them? Oh, slee stacks. Remember the Land of the Lost? Don't these sound like those slee stacks? They do to me. Anyhow, I won't keep you much longer, but stay safe, guys, and make sure you're ready for whatever is going to happen. And if you hear anything about what those fireballs are that are shooting through the sky, because nobody's really telling us anything, but if you hear anything, drop it down in the comments. All right? Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, stay prayed up and stay sprayed up.